Hey, right now I want to talk to you about what's essentially the perfect woodworking project right now. They're super popular, they make money, they sell. It's easy to build. If you follow the steps I give you in this video, you can get this out of one fence picket. And I'm even going to talk to you about how you can get repeat customers from this. So let's get started. Okay, so the first cut that we're going to do here is actually the only cut we're going to do out of this board, with it being its full width. And that's going to be a 14-inch cut. So I'm just going to mark my 14 inches. Everything we do from this point forward is going to be after the rest of this hits the table saw. So let's make this cut real quick. All right, so right now I have the base of this. That's that 14-inch piece right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my table saw to 1.5 inches, and I'm going to cut one strip off of this. Let's get the push stick I like. So what that gives us, I have one 1.5 inch strip that I just cut off. I'm going to set that aside for the second. And then I have the rest of the board. Now I'm going to go back to the miter saw, and I'm going to get two cuts out of this section, the wider section of the board. So now I'm going to cut two pieces out of this section. I'm going to cut an 8-incher and a 24-incher. So I have these two pieces, and now I have this leftover. This leftover is going back over to the table saw. Okay, so I have that first piece I had cut full width, then I have the 24-inch and the 8-incher. I'm going to set all that aside. I have one 1.5 inch strip here. Now I'm going to take the rest of what I just had, and I'm going to cut a few 1.5 inch strips out of this. All right, so I have some 1.5 inch strips here. I have this long 1.5 inch strip here, and then I have a little bit left over, which is a little less than 1.5. So we're gonna make a few different things with these 1.5 inch strips. First, we need to cut two 14-inch pieces for here and here. And if you made your board slightly off of 14, just match it to that bottom piece that you cut. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to cut all of our pickets, and there you're gonna have some flexibility as far as what kind of design you're going to do. But first things first, let's cut these two pieces right. Okay, so for what I'm doing here, this last piece with the dog ear on it, I'm not gonna end up needing that. I have this one right here, and I have this strip right here. And I'm going to get 5 pickets. So essentially I wanna make them as long as I can here, which will be somewhere between 11 and 12 inches, depending on the exact length of your board. I know all fence pickets should be the same size. I think we're learning quickly that lumber is not coming in the sizes we think it's going to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a 45 on each side here, and I leave it flat on the top. If you want a spike, you could just do 45s or 30s, play around with the angle. Here's where you have a little personalization, make it look the way you want, but I'll show you how I'm doing mine. So what I do here, this is that short piece I had left over, and I'm gonna make all my pieces this size. You do wanna make sure that you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of this big thing. If you wanna go with the exact style I'm doing, you may do less pickets, I just think the 5 looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my saw to 45 degrees, and I'm going to just cut a notch off of the corner, and then I'm gonna cut a notch off of the other corner. Now the way I make this consistent, first I find kind of where I want it to be, and I'm thinking something like that's gonna look good. So what I do is I'm gonna put a little piece of tape on the back side over here, where I want that end to be. All right, so let's say I'm going right there. So if I'm right up against that, that gives me that look I'm going for. So now, after I cut this, I can just flip it and line it up on that same spot, and we're gonna be good. And you can see, that's what I get. So now, I'm just going to keep using that piece of tape right there, and I'm going to cut a bunch of those out of this right here. So one thing I should have mentioned is, first I wanna cut them to this same size, all right, that I have here. So if I can do this, and I can do the same thing here, where I can put a piece of tape over here to mark, or I could set a block up, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to cut these. So I've got 5 of these total. Now I can do that step where I repeat this over and over again. So now I have 5 of these, and if I can line them up, you can see they are all the same. Now, great time to grab a piece of sandpaper, clean up some of this fraying on the end. At this point, some of you are probably, if you haven't already made the comment, you're going to. And you're gonna say, why didn't I sand this thing first? So here's why. This is a very customizable project. When I first got this down to the design for the one fence picket. I brought it down to my main office here, and I showed it to one person, and they were like, oh my gosh, I love that. And before I knew it, I had multiple people coming down saying, ooh, I want, but can you do this? I want one, but can you do that? Can you paint it white? Can you stain it? Can you do it smooth? And one person was like, hey, I like that rough look. This is all about personal preference now. So I love the look of cedar, not sanded. It's a personal thing I like, all right? If you were gonna sand the whole thing, if you wanted to get rid of this texture, I would suggest sand the whole board before you even start. So you're not doing all these little individual pieces. Now you'll still have to do the fraying and stuff like this, but you could just sand the whole board, get an orbital sander going, knock it out, and then start cutting. If you're gonna be painting it, it's probably a good idea to do that first, or don't use cedar. Again, this is gonna be outside. You can use treated wood. It's not like something's coming in contact with it like food. Use treated lumber, get some treated pine, whether it's a fence picket or just a piece of 1x6, whatever it is. Go ahead, make your cuts, and then paint it. So I'm gonna sand these real quick, and we can start putting this thing together. There we go. Now, if you did everything right, here's what you should have. A bottom, a back piece that will stand like that. You should have two 14-inch pieces. One is gonna end up going around here. One is going to go up towards the top, which you probably can't see because I'm going off camera. You get the idea. You have your 8-inch piece. That is gonna be the sign that hangs down. And then you have your 5 pickets. So let's put this all together. Now, 2 different main ways you can do this. I'm going to use glue and a nail gun. You could 100% do this with screws also. If it's going to be getting moved around a ton, maybe throw some screws in it. I don't like the look of the screws. I'm trying to keep this as minimal as I can, but the order of assembly will still be the same. So the first thing I'm going to attach is going to be my back piece to the bottom. And I'm just gonna put this all the way on the right side down at the bottom here. So I'm gonna keep things very simple. I'm just going to put some glue down at the bottom here. I'm going to put this up against it, and I'm going to pop in some nails. So the easiest way for me to do this, because I need to make sure the nail gun's actually gonna get in there, is to bring it to the edge of the table. I have that right there. And I'm going to pop in a few nails. Now, the nails I used there were only 1.25 inches, and here's why. Could I use longer ones here? Yes. But for the rest of this project, I don't want long nails, because here's what you have to think about. Essentially, I'm going to be nailing 2 pieces like this together, not 2 pickets, but 2 pieces of this thickness. So what you have to do is make sure your nails would not go through both pieces. So fence pickets typically 3/4 inch, or if using 1x is 3/4 inch. So if I use 1.5-inch nails, by the time it countersinks, it's gonna be poking out the other side. By using 1.25, it doesn't come out all the way. So again, I could have used like 1.5s or 2-inch ones here, but then I'd just be switching sizes, and you don't wanna forget to switch, and then you're popping holes out the front. So for me, 1.25-inch nails is what I'm doing here. So I've got that first piece on the bottom. That is attached. Now, where do I want to go from here? I'm going to go with the fence pickets. So, I have 5 of them. I've seen this done with less than 5. I've seen it done with 3. I like the way 5 looks, personal preference here. If I was going with 3, I probably would have left this piece full width, because then I wouldn't have as big of a gap here. But again, I'm showing you how to get this out of 1 fence picket, and this is the way I think it looks the best. So I'm going to start by going with one all the way down on the edge here, and then I can kind of figure out my spacing in between there. So again, I'm just gonna pop a little glue on the back here. And again, it's easiest if you work on the end of a table. So I'm gonna go right there. Now, I figure out my spacing. And you can measure it, get an official spacer, whatever works for you. I personally just kind of eye it, and honestly, that right there looks pretty darn good to me. So I'm gonna go with something like that. So that's probably about 1/2 inch. I've got it in my head, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go through and just attach all these. and boom, got the pickets on. Now, I have these two pieces. I don't like the look of this one flat on the bottom. I like it up a little, and I feel like it gives it much more support as far as stabilizing these. So what I actually like to do is take one of these, set it down flat, then I'm gonna put this one on top of that, and this is what I'm gonna attach, is this one up on the top here. All right, so again, I'm gonna use one as a spacer, and then attach the other one. So if that's going there, and I can kind of look at that here. If I look at this, and I can put a little bit of glue right along all these spots here. So again, I have this spacer here, and now I know this one is gonna go here. So again, if I was using screws, boom, pop the screws in, I'm good. I'm using glue and nails, so I know I can put some glue here. Let's put a little bit on each of these. Now I can put this here, and I can pop in my nails from this side, or I can flip it up, put in my nails from the back. I don't have any nails visible yet. I think I'm gonna keep it that way. So what I'm actually gonna do is stand this up, and again, it'll stay because I have my spacer here. All right, and I'm just gonna go to the back of it and pop in my nails from the back. Now I know where I'm lining up because I can see through the space in the pickets here. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of have it here. Now I can pull this bottom one out, and there we go. All right, so where that puts me now is this piece, and this is what's gonna go across here that my sign is going to hang from. So I personally, if you look at the other one I made, I had it down a little bit. I just thought it looked nice with a little bit of overhang here. You could go all the way up. You can pick anywhere in here that you think will work, but you have to factor in that you have a sign hanging from it. All right, so if I put it too low, when that sign hangs down, it's gonna be right on top of those pickets. So I come down about 1 inch from the bottom, and then when you factor in your hooks, that puts you kind of floating around here. So again, I'm gonna come down about 1 inch, and I'm just going to attach this here. So because this can drop here, if you were nailing from the front, what you might do is take that last piece and use it for support. But I want to nail from the back, but I want to make sure I like how this is lined up. So what I'm actually going to do is just take a clamp, and I'm going to clamp that in place. And now I can pop it up, and I can put my nails into the back of it. So as you can see, we are almost done with this. Last thing we have to do is hang our sign, or design our sign if you're writing something on it, whatever you're gonna do here. Well, let's focus on the construction of this. So what I'm gonna use here is just 2 of these little hooks and 2 little eye bolts or eye screws, and I'll hang these down from the top. These will go on the sign, and it will hook together. Pretty straightforward. So again, we're working through to this, so if you're getting something out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get back to work. The biggest thing you need to make sure of is that they're lined up the same between the two. My hooks have to be lined up with the bolts up here. So what I'm gonna do is find the one I lost. It's right here. I personally, again, I'm gonna come about 1 inch in from the sides here. Now, you can get a tiny drill bit. You can pre-drill your hole. That makes things easier. Me personally, I kind of look where I want to go. I kind of just shove it in and I start tightening it here. And once you get a little bit of a grip on it and you get it going, you can just screw it in. But again, it's a little easier if you do pre-drill the hole. This is just me being difficult, and this is how I like to do it. All right, so I'm going to tighten that up. Now, I want to make sure I'm kind of in the same line here as far as going this way, because I don't want my sign to be, if I was like way to the front and then way to the back, it would be crooked. I'm going to come in about the same distance, and you can measure this. In fact, if you're somebody looking for repeat sales, this is a great project for that, because what you can do is make seasonal signs for it. So you may sell this to the person with a welcome sign on it or with their last name on it. But then you know what? Christmas comes around. Maybe you want to make a Christmas colored one or have a Christmas message on it. And Halloween and Thanksgiving and whatever holidays, you can think of a custom sign for it. So that is why this project is so great, because you can turn it into repeat business by selling people on that additional product. But if you're doing that, you want to make sure you come up with an official distance here, because otherwise you might sell them a new sign and it doesn't match the hooks. So pick a distance. Again, this is 8 inches. Maybe do 1 inch from inside, each side in, and now you have about a 6-inch space, and do that for all of them. And that way, if you ever want to sell them another sign, they can just take the old one off and put the new one on. So that's a little resale tip for you. So this is a great way to keep in touch with customers and sell them something over and over again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically kind of line this up where I want it. Like I want that right there. And I'm just going to go under here, and I'm going to do the same thing I just did. You can pre-drill if you want, but I'm just going to kind of stick it there and thread it in. All right, and that's in there good. And now I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. So now I can kind of look at this like this. It's gonna be here. I want that right there. I can put a little dent. So now I have a little mark here. I know exactly where it's gonna go. And again, I'm just gonna shove that up in there and tighten it. And now, the moment of truth. Did I do it right? Here's the hook. Boom, boom, and there we go. So I don't think I did anything super complicated there, and these things are awesome. Like I said, everybody's asking about these. How do you make it your own? Well, you could go with 2 little pots here, display them. You could get 1 big one. You could use that little bit of scrap you had left over. You could put a lip right here. You could put 2 bottom pieces on here to raise it up a little bit. You can do different colors. You can do different finishes, stain it, paint it. You can do different messages. Again, you can make this customizable, especially if you have a laser engraver. There's a ton of options for this, and people are buying them. Now, another version of this that I've seen is where people actually build a planter into the bottom of it. I'm working on that video. It's going to be a 2-picket project. I'm going to talk about how to make it so it doesn't rot out on you. So make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you in the next video.